first floor. Both of those will involve 480 employees or so apiece. Then in April of 2014 and 11 of 2014, November of 2014, they will occupy the third floor. After that, in April of 15, they'll complete their move-in onto the second floor. And the reason for that kind of staggered takedown is that we also have to account for USAA's current occupancy of the third floor, the second floor, I'm sorry, so that by the time that they will complete that move, we will have found and identified a home for the 100,000 square feet for USAA. And even though we will be in competition for that business, we have an excellent relationship with USAA, and we're going to do everything we can possibly do to make sure that that stays in Norfolk as well. Upon completion, this will make the AmeriGroup folks one of the top 10 employers in the city. The indirect benefits are, roughly $290,000 a year or so in taxes. There were no city incentives involved in the project. They will be constructing a twin of the existing, which was based on the initial site plan, about an 870-car parking garage, which will twin with their 1,074 parking deck that they already have out there. That will be roughly estimated conservatively about $14 million. So it's an excellent deal. It's really terrific news. It's a great win for the region. It gives AmeriGroup, which is 385 on the Fortune 500 list, a place to grow and expand in Hampton Roads and bring all those jobs to Norfolk. So it's really a great deal, and it's really pleased to see that they were able to consummate that early last week. And they'll begin working with us on their move-in, and also we're hoping to meet with USAA very soon on what they believe to be the timeline for the construction of the garage.
So we didn't get a chance to talk about this. I mean, there have been 2 newspaper articles about it, but the fact that we're getting nearly 2,000 jobs over here to come to Norfolk over a matter of a few years with no incentives, and just they're coming here because we have a good business environment, there was an opportunity here, is something to celebrate. Any question, people would be, other communities would die to get 1,900 jobs in their city, especially no ask, which is which is really, it just tells you what sort of corporate citizen AmeriGroup is, but also says something about the way we do business in Norfolk and the fact they want to be here when they could have gone everywhere.
I appreciate that, and I also know that you had the opportunity to speak with the heads of those organizations, and they're just absolutely delighted about coming into Norfolk. And I would say that Don Krieger with CBRE was instrumental in orchestrating the various groups and parties, and did a wonderful and fabulous job. If anybody knows Don, he's a true pro, so it's really good to work with him as well.
Okay.
USAA, how many people do they actually have that are still employed?
Well, about 400, 500 currently, a little bit more than that actually, but they are occupying the entire second floor. They used to occupy that entire building back when they first got here. Thank you.
Thank you. Good work. Thank you. Okay, you want to do the revocation on the WATERSIDE permit?
Sure. On PH1 tonight, you have listed as a revocation or a special exception that the council provided to WATERSIDE in 1983. That when WATERSIDE opened, the council, in order to facilitate its opening, gave a blanket exception to the entire facility. As you know, WATERSIDE was expanded in 1989. Then in 1999, the council updated the special exception and intended to repeal the 1983 special exception. And the holder of the special exception, the partnership, wanted it changed to the 1999 update. And then in 2009, the decision by the owner of the WATERSIDE, the lessee, and planning and this council was that it was no longer appropriate to have a blanket special exception for the entire facility, that it evolved to the point where different venues merited boutique special exceptions. So that this council in 2009, at the request of the holder of the special exception, repealed the 1999 special exception and went to boutique special exceptions. Two of the entities in it, Bar Norfolk and Have a Nice Day Cafe, were not granted the boutique special exceptions for reasons that you're very familiar with, which resulted in litigation. In the litigation, the city was upheld on virtually all of the points, certainly the most important points, which were that its discretion to not grant special exceptions to Bar Norfolk and Have a Nice Day Cafe were rationally based and upheld. A lot of arguments were made. One of the arguments that was made was that the 1983 special exception that just covered the initial phase had not been effectively repealed. And that initial phase includes a portion of a kitchen of one of the bars. And so that outstanding, based upon Judge Thomas's ruling, is still the 1983 exception, special exception, which has now been replaced by the boutique special exceptions and one for the common areas independently. So that this public hearing, it comes to revoke the 1983 special exception, which was intended to be revoked in 1999 and which has been replaced by the existing boutique special exceptions. And it clears up the one small issue in the litigation where Judge Thomas ruled against us. So that's on your agenda tonight. We recommend it. It eliminates any confusion about businesses there, Outback Steakhouse, etc., having their own boutique special exceptions and how it fits in with Judge Thomas's ruling. The bars have appealed the case, and this also will benefit us on any appeals or any matters pertaining to this. So it's largely a housekeeping matter that's on PH1 tonight.
Okay. All right. Mr. Riddick, any council interests?
Yeah, I guess my football helmets didn't make it into the budget this year. And, but the only thing that I would like to see is that we pay more attention, and get our referees to pay more attention when it comes to these youngsters playing football. There've been continuing reports about concussions, and now I don't know how many players and former players of the NFL that are suing the NFL because of concussions. And so it's becoming a very serious issue. And so, as I say, I'm sure the helmets didn't make it in there this year, and I'm sure we're going to work on that. But I just hope that our coaches during the preseason and our officials would pay attention to that and realize we got those youngsters out there, and that is a possibility. And I saw a report one time where these youngsters, 8, 9, 10 years old, they don't have as much strength in their necks, and so they're still predisposed for these types of concussions. So I just hope that we'll have a safe year as far as that's concerned. And the only other thing, during our discussion a few minutes ago about the budget, and I made a comment that Hit Dog Always Hollers. Well, by this being televised, I don't want anybody looking at that thinking that I made a derogatory remark towards Ms. Williams because she happened to respond at the same time. And I just want to make it perfectly clear that that's just an old cliche that's used, and there's nothing personal, about what I say. And so, this newspaper that we got in this town and these media guys, they'll pick something up and run with it. But I just want to, there's nothing furthest thing from my heart. Okay, that's just want to make sure that play that. Okay.
Mr. Riddick, we did put $50,000 into the recreation budget.
Okay.
I think the cost associated with helmets may have been close to $300,000.
Right.
But we tried to do exactly what you said, find a way that, one, there's funding
Right.
that's available, even if it's, because one of the situations dealt with, children, being in the intersection,
Right.
trying to, get funds, but also that the coaches are all on the same, level of understanding with how serious and important this is.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all I have.
Art Beasley.
I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew about the Healthy Norfolk initiative that we've started. We've got some fun things that have happened this month already with Bike Norfolk, and that started last Saturday. We had a huge crowd that did our ride through Ghent and Park Place, and they'll be doing that every Saturday this month. And a week from Wednesday is our walk down here at City Hall, starting at noon. It's for all employees, and that would include everybody here. And also a 5K run, I think, isn't it? So come walk, run, come out to support. I hope you all don't look at this as being one of those things that's, gosh, that's kind of fun, but don't really get behind it. This is very important for Norfolk to remember that a healthy initiative is going to save us economically. It's going to draw citizens to our city. It's going to keep our citizens safe and healthy. And I hope that you'll come behind it no matter what your level of activity or interest in physical activity, because it has to do with childhood obesity. Marcus has been a great leader in getting us started on that, and I hope I can count on everybody on council to be supportive in some way.
Also have healthy treats from Norfolk Ice Cream Company at the finish line.
There you go.
You'd be proud to know that Andy and I won Healthiest Choice Award for the Prime Plus Menu Cook event. We won one of the awards. So we helped kick off the healthy initiative. There you go, Bob.
I'm glad you finally announced.
Can I follow up with something about this? We all got this public service recognition stuff, and is that part of what you're talking about?
Yeah.
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 Well, we used to have a City Employee of the Year award, and was it the Cosmopolitan Club that was doing it? Who was doing it?
It was Cosmopolitan.
One of the clubs that eventually just almost went away. They did it for so many years. The membership got pretty old, and then, I think Alan and Breck tried to help them, and that lasted for a couple years, and then it just died. I mean, it seems to me a city like ours, and we just talked about our employees, ought to have an employee of the year. Don't you think? I mean, I guess some people have public safety officers of the year, or some, I don't know if you want to divide it, but it seems to me you ought to give some thought to doing that again. And that maybe you could get a jury of outstanding citizens, to help. We don't need the club to do it any longer, but that, people would make recommendations. We could have the event got there wasn't much money in the event, got just a little bit, I guess, dated or worn. And so, we could have a nice luncheon, you could have a dinner. I mean, you could really turn it into a nice morale boosting type of thing where we can celebrate our employees, have some finalists, and have it seems to me like such an easy thing to do, but also be appropriate.
I agree.
All right? Okay. Mr. Burford? Nothing.
Oh, there.
Here it comes.
That means we get to start on time.
Here it comes. Okay. Angela?
I just have two things. The first thing is who handles, or is there anybody that handles lighting at the bus stops? Those, the shelters, the little, because they are very dark at night. Is there lighting in them provided? You drive by them, and I mean,
I don't think there's any light in there.
it's scary.
No electricity.
If they're not near a street light, it's very dark. And I think we should take a look at that. I did have an opportunity to kind of peruse through the document that you sent, and I'm very glad that you did that. They put honorable in front of our names, and we are televised, and there have been some meetings where tempers have flared and things like that, and we have high school and junior high school students that pay attention to what we do. And so in light of our last meeting, I'm glad that there's at least a recommendation or, some protocol that's been established, because that just was not honorable 2 weeks ago. That's all.
Well, I wasn't gonna say anything, but now I have time. I'm gonna make up some stuff. No, I just first want to thank Public Works. I don't know if you had an opportunity to read the email that came out from, I think Alice sent it out on some of the new things online. And now you can actually see all the street lights that have been repaired or are broken and in the process of being fixed. And there's some other traffic related things. So I think that's moving us in the right direction. So I commend Public Works and Marcus and Communications for getting that together. I think that's important to do that. And just a small Public Works thing, John, I was going to email Ann, but I'll just say it. The new, where they just finished the project over on 4th View and in front of Greenies, the arrows actually, when you're going east, lead you right into the median in front of the Taco Bell Kentucky Fried Chicken. So when you're driving from Ocean View, from Willoughby, the way the arrows are drawn, they lead you in a bad path. So if you guys could look at that, if it's dark over there, I could see somebody getting confused with that. So maybe just suggest that. Somebody brought that up. That's it.
I don't have anything, so we can take a couple minutes break so we can start right at 7 then. All right? Great.
That's gonna fill that board. I mean,
I don't know. There was, somebody had a pedicab thing up there?
We could do that. It was a filler. Okay.
And
Pedicabs.
the gentleman from Pedicabs is here.
Mr. Mayor, three things. There are two resolutions on your agenda this evening, one of which deals with regional solid waste planning. If you had any questions about that, John Carlock from the Planning District Commission is here. There's also a resolution related to a study about consolidation of wastewater, and Kristen's here if you had any questions about that. In 2 weeks, we are bringing an ordinance related to pedicabs, and we thought we could give you the highlights of what's related to that program this evening.
Dr. Libby drive one?
I've become an expert on pedicabs the last couple of weeks. We've had a request from two businesses to start operating a pedicab operation in the city, which is the reason we're bringing this to you, and we'll have an ordinance for city council to consider in a couple of weeks. A pedicab is a three-wheeled bicycle with the driver in the front, passengers in the back. The operations have operations like this at the town center in Virginia Beach. It's a fun and environmentally friendly way to get around downtown for short trips. It's an alternative to using cars, and pollution-free opportunity. Previously, the City Council approved a pilot program in 1999. It was a one-year pilot, and a business did try it with some limited operations, and it was not successful for the vendor. They discontinued it for whatever reason. It didn't work out for them. Two companies are currently interested in providing pedicab service to downtown, and the proposed ordinance would allow the operation of the pedicabs throughout the city. The intention is to bring an ordinance to council this month. We would like to do that so that they have the opportunity to begin these operations for op sale in June. The pedicabs will require a permit. The police department will administer the program similar to what they do with taxi cabs. Again, they will be allowed to operate throughout the city, but they'll require a business license. Pedicab drivers must be dressed in a clean company uniform, can't operate on sidewalks, and we'll have them operating on streets with a posted speed limit of 25 miles an hour or less. Some other rules: can't board or discharge passengers from a travel lane or block a travel lane, not be parked or stand on a sidewalk, must obey all the traffic laws, and the equipment must meet regulations to be safe for operations in the city at night. The fees are intended to be similar for what we have for taxis, a $60 certificate fee for each pedicab, and a $20 annual fee for each driver. Also, we want to limit the fees that they may charge their passengers to $2 per block, $25 a half hour, $45 per hour. And, we will be bringing ordinance to City Council in 2 weeks. We have circulated the ordinance to the two companies for comments, have not heard anything from them yet. But once the ordinance is approved, we'll go through the permitting process and start service in time for op sale, hopefully.
Any questions for John? Thank you. John, you've really moved on with the times, haven't you? I mean, this is.
Light rail pit.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, all right, then we'll take a short break and see you upstairs.